wahi kraki atu kia koutou, kia koe e te tūpuna ngahere a Puketi. Reira tā ki nā te takaroa, ko te kawatua tahi, ko te kawatua rua, ko te kawatua toru, ko te kawatua whā, ko te kawatua rima. Tā ki nā te takaroa, ko te kawatua ono, ko te kawatua petu, te kawatua waru, ko te kawatua ewa. Tā ki nā o te kawa, ngā huru e. A puta i te wā kore, te wā pō, te wā o ngā pō. A whānau mai, nā hui tuku, a puta kōrangi rao ko papa. Me te whānau, ko koe tēnā, e tāne mahuta, e tū nei, e āwhina nei i te tangata, mehe mai i kore koe, ko kore ngā pātū hakapiti, o tātou marae, o tātou waka. Eira, mai e te timata, mai e tupua, mai e te tauira. O tātou rā tēnei, e mihi atu nei, ka ki ana kia koe i hoa, i o matua kore. Te mutunga ka tū mai a tauiui, ka tūtahi ake a te karaitiana, nana hakapono, ngai tāua te Māori. Ira tēnei rā te karangātu, kia koutou, ngā kāhui o ngā riki. Tēnei rā te karangātu kia koutou, a koutou na te kororia a ke tonu. Āmene.
Hi, we're Roosters, and we are your future generations.
Hi, my name's Bonnie, and I read the Puketi Forest Trust are trying to get all the birds back in Puketi Forest.
Hi, my name is Shine, and the thing I learned about the Puketi Forest is they contribute to the forest to make it a healthy living place.
Hi, I'm Caleb, and something that I learned about the Puketi Forest was that they protect native wildlife.
My personal history with the forest goes back to the 1860s. My grandfather's grandfather came to New Zealand and his sons were all bushmen through this Puketi area. Bramley's Ridge was named after my grandfather. I had an uncle that kept a kiwi for a while when he was young. They found, nestling kaka in the bush and they had a good knowledge of plants. I grew up knowing about the forest and knowing that my family had been involved with it. I think the important thing about the forest is it's central to the Northland area, right in the midpoint really between the two coasts, and so it's accessible for people. So a lot of people walk through the forest or visit the edges of the forest.
My wife and I bought this farm here in 1980, and when we came here I didn't know the difference between kauri and cutty grass. And we had a bit of bush on our own farm that was taking up valuable land, and we thought this must be cut down and converted to pasture, sort of thing all good farmers do. And then we met a botanist. He had a look at the bush on our farm, and he was saying, look at this orchid in this tree here. Look, oh, you've got a red-eye here. Oh, the kakatea, that's a big one. There's not many of those big ones left. And there were things growing in the trees. And some trees had 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 different plants growing in them. And I thought I might try and make a list of what's in here. There's probably 30 or 40 or 50 different plants growing here. And the list went past 200. And I thought, this is absolutely amazing. And all of a sudden, this bit of bush of ours became quite special. And we thought, no, we're not going to cut it down, we're going to save it.
There's heaps of pests in the forest. There's weasels, stoats and possums that kills birds.
They come from other places, they just crawl to Puketi Forest.
The other first settlers would have the other people accidentally
Australians, English, Whalers people.
Puketi has been overrun with rats and domestic cats that have been let loose, and lost pig dogs and all those sort of things. The rib of this environmental anatomy is at its weakest point. And so the Puketi Restoration Trust, or Ohomai Puketi, has taken on a mammoth task of trying to fix the rib of weakness in this environment that we have here?
The main activities that the Puketi Trust is involved with is fundraising. The original startup costs were about $1,200 a kilometre to cut the lines through the forest for putting the traps on. That involves a team of at least 3 guys, one mapping out where you need to go, one coming behind and cutting the vegetation, and a third person coming behind that and putting out the permanent markers so that the trappers can find them.
We've cut 120 kilometres of trap altogether now, and as you can see over here, you can see how dense the forest is, and it can take 10 minutes to go 50 metres through the fern and supplejack.
We need to pay for somebody to go and take the traps and the trap boxes and put them out, and that's a huge cost. And in terms of trap placement, it probably costs somewhere between $6 and $15 per trap, because the people doing it have to carry them a long way. And you carry a trap, drop it, carry on to the next place 100 or 200 metres down the track and put the next one. And because they come in quite bulky boxes, you can't carry very many at once. It's a big undertaking to do that.
This is a Dock 200 stoke trap. We've put about 500 of these in since we started, so kill very, very quickly. The animal's dead instantly, it crushes its skull. But this box is designed to be bird proof. We've never caught a bird in here yet. The trap has a hole on the outside, and it has a little partition in here, a baffle, and this is the length of a kiwi bill, so that there's no chance of a kiwi putting its beak through and getting caught.
But we turn our attention to the kokako. We do have a special bottom line that says, okay, if we're going to bring the kokako chicks back into Puketi, we need to fix the cradle so that on the return of the new baby, at least it's got a good, clean cradle to develop in.
A scientist, Peter Bellingham, has described the collapse of kokako here as the most spectacular collapse ever documented. When I was at high school, which was in the mid-80s, there was quite a healthy population of kokako. I think the estimates are sort of 120 birds. When the trust started in 2001, the kokako population was reduced to 7 males. That population was functionally extinct.
The lonely hatbird is building a nest at the moment.
What's the lonely heartbird called? Do you remember?
I think it was called a kako.
Kokako?
Yeah.
That is the one.
And they were hooking it up with a girlfriend.
Yeah, we think Puketi is an important forest to sponsor because there's not many cloud forests in New Zealand. It is a subtropical rainforest, and it does have a big diversity of species.
These birds that play an integral part to the forest ecosystem have just disappeared, which in the longer term, over hundreds of years, means that the forest is going to collapse.
I'm hoping in 10 years' time that when you come through here, there'll be birds all around us. I'm hoping it will be something like Little Barrier Island.
I guess how I feel about the decline is it does make me angry, particularly because it's been well documented. There are lots of reports sitting on shelves saying that the kokako population went from 120 to 7, and nobody seemed to find the motivation to do anything about it. But it also makes me very sad that the types of birds I grew up seeing are not things that my children are going to get to see. And so, I guess it was time to just draw a line in the sand and say, no, somebody's got to do something about this. It's no good saying there's not enough money. That's not an excuse. That's not a good reason for allowing something to just totally disappear.
You can't be too small. We've had kohangareo here, and a lot of those kohangareo are now at secondary school. So it's a little seed that's been sown, a little Puketi in our schools, maybe. Kia ora.
To save the Puketi rainforest, we need to not litter and fundraise for the Puketi Forest so they can get new equipment to get rid of the pest and bring more birds back to the Puketi Forest.
To save the Puketi Forest, we need to volunteer to work in the forest. To save the Puketi Forest, we need to donate money so that we can restore the forest into a healthy living place.
I'd say to you out there, hey, give us a hand, will you? Because we're almost desperate, eh? What was grey is now coming green again. What was silent, the birds are starting to sing. But we need your help to really allow Puketi to play its own music and its own dialect and its own culture so that we can all share. All right.